combine our respective information into a harmonized, continuous map of the world, into a map that works at all kinds of scales, at a global level, at a national level, at a regional level, and even down to the block level, and perhaps even into a building. The goal of the Community Basemap program is really about providing you with a framework that works on the web for you to deliver more effective applications for your GIS, your stories that you want to tell with your maps to become more effective.
The City of Charlotte and Mecklenburg County have a long history of providing GIS data at low or no cost. We've always had an open data policy. The Community Basemap is really an evolution of that track. For the first time, we're providing a common, consistent, standardized base map that really provides the foundation for thematic mapping, both internally within the city and externally.
The Community Map program allows us to be able to give access to the vast storehouses of information that we have at the city. What we have in this program is a way of being able to deliver the services without having to make such large initial investment. The Community Basemap program allows us to be able to move some of those assets into the cloud, to not have to have those services, yet be able to provide a level of transparency to our citizens, to our businesses, to meet their needs.
So we have data from very small scales down to very large scales. Internationally, we have global coverage down to about 1 to 100,000 scale. We'd like to make that more detailed and more authoritative, working with local providers of information. That could be local national mapping agencies, or it could be local governments that are building data sets within their nation.
This map is about you and your content, about us being able to take the best available data sources from the professional GIS community, an authoritative source of information, the best data, a crowdsourcing exercise by the professional GIS community to build a great map of the world.
This is an interesting experiment. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I looked at it a few months ago. Now there are actually hundreds and hundreds of cities that have taken this experiment, and states and countries, and are starting to actually do it. So it's no more of an experiment. The way it works is, first, there's 22 different scales of the global map. 1 to 1,000, all the way up to 1 to a million. Users are taking an online template from the resource center. They download this template, they pour their data into the template, and then they upload the raster tiles into the different scales. This is a collaborative effort, clearly. And it's continuous in scale, so as you zoom on in, it actually gets better. Like an image pyramid would do. And it's also continuous in terms of moving around. Many participants, and it's also a free cloud-based service that you can then grab and use in your desktop. You can reserve out on the web in your own organization. So why should you do it? It's a lot of work, because then you get a free base map that's served back to you. And it also is your map served to your colleagues in other organizations. And it also helps us create a global map. I could talk about it for a long time and try to sell you on this idea, but I'm finding that it doesn't take very long to understand it and do it. And Bernie Zukowski can actually just show it. Bernie, show it. That's better than me talk. Right, Bernie? Absolutely. He always tells me that. You should shut up. Let me show it.
Thank you very much, Jack. The World Topographic Base Map is really a remarkable base map. It's a multi-resolution base map that's been cartographically designed. The base map is a true community GIS base map, and I know many of you in this audience today have contributed to this base map. It's received contributions from the best available sources such as Natural Resources Canada, the USGS and the EPA. The National Park Service. Here we are in Yosemite National Park, and as I zoom in just a little bit, you'll see the detailed infrastructure and the trails that have been contributed by Yosemite. There have also been many contributions from state and local governments, like the state of Arkansas. Here's Denver County in Colorado, and many cities across the globe. Here we are in the city of San Francisco. I think what I find most fascinating about this contribution is the extra detail with the trees that have been added to the base map. The city of Boston is a very new addition. So this was just added last week. So this is very much a live dynamic base map that's continually being updated. The city of Hong Kong is also very interesting. I find this interesting because it has labels in multiple languages. And here's another recent addition. This is from the city of Toronto. Now, this has some remarkable detail as I zoom in. You'll see here those contour lines are 1 meter contours. Now, despite the fact that this content has come from a variety of different sources all across the globe at a variety of different scales, using that template that Jack talked about, it's been brought in seamlessly into a worldwide base map that all of us can use. Now, we focused a lot on the World Topographic Base Map, but there are other base maps that are part of ArcGIS Online that also receive community contributions. Here's the World Imagery Base Map, which includes 15-meter or better coverage across the entire world. And it includes more detailed information like that you see here for the Czech Republic. It also has 1 meter or better resolution for thousands of cities and towns outside of the U.S. Here we are in the Sydney area, and you might recognize the Opera House. And here we are in Brussels. This is really spectacular imagery. In the United States, it has 1 meter or better resolution, and that's been achieved by compiling data from a variety of sources, federal, state, and local sources, as well as imagery from commercial providers. This here is Petco Park, just across the street from where we are. There's the Omni Hotel, and there's the Convention Center. Now, even though some of this content is from commercial providers, it's free for all of us to use. The World Streets Base Map is another multi-resolution base map, and it includes detailed streets for the entire globe, and for major cities, it includes building footprints, like you see here in Rome. There's also been some recent updates to this base map. I'd like to highlight just a couple of those. Let's zoom into Tokyo, where we see the new base map edition for that city. And here we are in Thailand, and we can zoom into Bangkok and see the detailed streets that have been added there. ArcGIS Online also contains other layers that we can use to construct our own maps. For example, here's the terrain base and the world reference layer from the topographic base map. Here I've inserted another ArcGIS Online layer. We have a series of demographic thematic layers available. This is household income, and I've inserted it in those two other layers to create this map. And here's the geologic map of North America. We also include content from other providers. From Microsoft, we include the Big Maps roads, also the aerial and the hybrid base maps. And we also have added OpenStreetMap. ArcGIS Online base maps then represent an excellent way for you to start your map, and also a great place for you to contribute some of your content. Now, before I turn things back to Jack, what I would like to do is take you for a look behind the scenes and show you how I made this presentation. This is something new. This is ArcGIS Explorer Online, and it has a similar look and feel and some of the same capabilities as the downloadable desktop version that you might be familiar with. But this is a lightweight version that runs entirely in the browser, and to create the presentation you just saw, I connected to ArcGIS Online Services, added some titles, and captured these slides that you'll see here. It will be coming